if you kind of let the client maybe dictate the mode of communication, where sometimes they're calling you, sometimes they're texting you, sometimes they're emailing you, there might be a danger where they tell you something and it falls through the cracks. Now we mentioned, tools and systems that forward or a single inbox, but if you do have somebody that text you or give you a call, do you then have a process in place where you make sure you log that into a system in some way, or forward that into a system in some way to document that? Whoever wants to jump in first, I'm very curious to see how you might handle, if there's multiple streams of communication, how to make sure you have all that information from different platforms: text, phone, email, everything else, chat, whatever else may come up.
Well, this firm is just my husband, me, and one part-timer, so I don't really have a big staff. Most stuff comes in for me to handle. I like to handle it right away, but sometimes just forget. I mean, I had an email today, and actually sent it on October 14th, and I remember discussing it with my husband. I forgot to get back to him. I went and he drove it. I never heard back. Eat crow. The more crow you eat, the better it tastes. So I said, "Oops, my goof," stuff. And I handle it right away. You're human. If one slips by, you go, "Oops, sorry," and they get it. I mean, I think sometimes as accountants, we're so worried if we make a mistake. Now, I'm not telling you to make mistakes, but if you make one, I always tell people, it's only money. No one will die. You fix it. So, if stuff doesn't get handled and it slips, doesn't happen often, but like today it happened. It wasn't, and I just handled it. So, but I usually have a task and a label on my Gmail. It goes into a thing, and I review that. I review that every morning. I learned this trick: 6 most important things, and I go through that in the morning, and I do the one I don't want to do first. And then I do handle all my follow-ups after 4 o'clock every day. So I am in control when I do that. So if they text me at 10 o'clock and I can't answer it, I'll get back to you, and I'll get back to them before the end of the day. Then it's off my plate. I don't like to go to bed thinking, "Oh, I got to handle this." I like it done.
Yeah,
So
one of the firms we work with, they call it the "oh craps" if they forget to log it, because then they'll wake up at 10:30 at night and say, "Oh crap, I got that text message, I forgot to," so it seems like capturing this information in some way, having a single place to capture it, is very important.
But if you miss one, but relax. I mean, we're people, we're human. Have fun. I mean, we make this like it's so critical and such a big deal, and I mean, it is, but it isn't. Just do your best. I mean, just do your best, and you have to have fun. I mean, if you're not having fun, why are you working? I mean, I'm always having fun, and I make a lot of money doing it, but I'm always having fun.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it shows in your clients as well, right? So I think that's dramatically important to delivering on that relationship. Kirk or Chris, I mean, do you have this kind of mass capturing or somebody? I think the most common thing would be you get a phone call and you're like, "Oh yeah, I can do that. That sounds great." And then all of a sudden you get another phone call or a team member, in person, offline, mentions it to you. You forget about that phone call or a text message. Is it a matter of training the client? This is the way to request information, or do you have a capture mechanism in place? What does that look like for your firms?
So we use sorry, Kirk. We use an app internally called Teamwork Desk, and it's our sort of like help desk. So our process internally, kind of like Kirk mentioned, if you get a correspondence from a client outside of that system, so they send you a message on Skype, say, it would be up to the employee who received that message to go, to forward that into Teamwork Desk, create that ticket, and track it through Teamwork Desk. That way, it also gives visibility to the whole firm as to what communication is going out to that client. So we're not quite often we'll see client doesn't get an answer within 2 seconds, so then they send it on to someone else on Skype chat. So by having that ticket entered into Teamwork Desk, kind of the whole team can see it, and we're not all answering the same question. The other app that we use to help manage these tasks is called Asana. So it's project management, task management. So anything that might not fit into a ticket, we would just create a project or a task for ourselves with a due date and say, send the client this return on this date or something like that. But we use, kind of those systems to track those projects.